I just want to say, before we get into the message this morning, we don't say enough to you that, moms, how much that we love you and that we care about you. And truly, you guys go above and beyond 7 days a week. And we just want to honor you today as being great mothers. And you truly are, for those people probably that are sitting next to you or around you that love you. You are our heroes today. And we want to talk about that a little bit. If you have your Bibles, you can look at Proverbs chapter 31, verses 28 through 31. And it says, "Her children praise her." We don't do it enough, but we do. "And with great pride, her husband says, 'There are many good women, but you are the best.' Charm can be deceiving and beauty fades away, but a woman who honors the Lord deserves to be praised. Show her respect. Praise her in public for what she has done." And so often we, us guys sometimes, and I don't want to be hard on guys today for sure, but sometimes we're a little insensitive, in certain areas. And so a lot of times when it comes to public places, we have a better time making fun of you. I'm sorry, but it's one of those times that we joke and we prod and we tease and for some reason in our minds we think it's funny. I mean, we think that we are hilarious, because everybody else in the room's laughing and cutting up, and it's that time that you smile and you kind of go along with it, and you're just that way, you're passive in that way, or you get home and you'll say, "Ugh, don't ever, do that again." But sometimes we're not the best or the greatest in praising you in public. And this is one of those mornings that we want to stop and we just want to say that you truly are wonderful. And you, when you show yourself in the way of this godly woman, it does truly make a difference. Not only in our life, but your children's life, and then the life of those people that are around you. And it shows. It's not something that goes unnoticed. And we really do need to stop more and just say, "I appreciate you for what you do." There's a lot of things that goes on that a mother does that us as fathers or children just don't notice. I don't know if we're blind or stupid or what, but there's so many things that from a woman's perspective that you see that we just don't. Thank you so much for praying for your children. When us guys are outside doing something and we just don't even think about, but it seems like a mother's intuition, they know when something's wrong, they know when something's right. They just, for some reason, know when us as guys just miss it. And thank you so much for taking the time out when it's needed to pray. You pray for us as men. You pray for children because you want the very, very best for them. And you know how important it is. And we recognize it because as guys, those ladies in the home really are the glue that holds everything together. Now, I know we're strong as guys, and I know that we like to, as much as possible, control everything. But when the truth comes out, when the truth's really known, the strong one in the relationship, normally, not always, normally is the lady. She's the one that keeps everybody grounded. She's the one that keeps everybody focused. She's the one that keeps everybody organized. She's the one that makes sure that everybody's fed. I don't know about in your home, but if my wife's not home, My kids eat ramen noodles. They can fix it themselves. It's 2 minutes in the microwave, and it's a healthy 180 calories is all it is. And so, but when Christy's home, she makes sure that we're on time and we're doing things in a manner which a family should really do that. It does not go unnoticed today about what you do for your family and for those people that you love. And we want you to know today that we recognize you as godly women. If you look in 2 Timothy chapter 1, I want to show you how being a godly woman influences those people around you. It says this, night and day I mention you in my prayers. I'm always grateful for you. As I pray to God, my ancestors and I have served with a clear conscience. I remember how you cried, and I wanted to see you because that will make me truly happy. And this is Paul talking about Timothy. I also remember a genuine faith of your mother Eunice and your grandmother Lois had the same sort of faith, and I'm sure that you have it as well. Now, Paul sees something in Timothy that's important. For one, he sees this genuine faith that he has. And you can tell a difference with somebody with genuine faith or somebody that's just faking faith. Something that this church gets a lot, and it's when people come in and the word that they use is real. And it just seems real to me. Just church in general, it just seems real. That word really means authentic, And that's because the people that are here are just everyday people. It's just you and me. And there's nothing else really to show besides that. We could fake it if we want to, I guess, but we'd just be fooling all of ourselves, wouldn't we? We'd be putting on a show, and then we'd be going to lunch together, and we would know how each other are. And so why don't we just act the same way all the time? It would be just much, much easier. Paul sees this thing in Timothy that's authentic. He loves God with all of his heart. He really, truly sees something in him that's different maybe than everybody else. So much that he knows that he had to have been raised and had to have been taught. He had to have been mentored in some way to be able to be this way at this young age. And so he mentions his mother and his grandmother that has this same type of authentic faith. And so it looks like Timothy was raised in this home that had these godly principles laid down and that were followed. You being a hero this morning, being a godly woman, makes a difference in your family because people recognize it and realize it through your children. There's a lot of things that happen from generation to generation that just pours down over time. For instance, if your family participated in a certain thing, then your kids probably would participate in that same thing. For instance, my grandpa, he ran racehorses. He loved horses, And so I would watch him train these horses. He had a little white Shetland pony, and he would go out and he would play cowboys and Indians. And I would watch, and he would take the horse, and he would lay it down like it got shot, and he would be a barrier. The horse would be a barrier for him, and he'd lay down on the horse, and he had taught him to do all these tricks, And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Lo and behold, my dad, he is good with horses and likes to be around horses, and he has a racehorse as well. And so it's just natural for me, I love getting up every morning. I like getting the racehorse out of the stall. I like taking him across to the little racetrack that we've got and playing jockey, I know I'm way too big for that, but I like doing it. It's an adrenaline rush. And so because my grandpa did it and my dad did it, I do it. And guess what? My son last night, he was riding in running a barrel pattern, and it was one of the fastest barrel patterns he ever ran. And he's coming back home from the third barrel, and out of nowhere, he screams, "Yeah, doggies!" I'm thinking, okay, whatever. I mean, he's having fun. But my grandpa loved it, and my dad loved it, and I love it. And by his expression last night, I guess Tyler loves it too. Something happens when you pass things down generation to generation to generation. And so as mothers, we have to decide what that's going to be. I say as mothers, we. I didn't really mean that. I'm not a mother. But you do have to decide what that's going to be, because if it's horses, that's fine. If it's something that you love, like shopping, it's a passion of yours, then that's great. No shopping. There's several women that are just totally offended by that statement right there, I keep saying it. I'm not a woman, and I don't know what women like to do. I still hadn't figured it out after 20 years of marriage. Whatever it is, cage fighting, soccer, whatever. But whatever you pass down from generation to generation, it's going to be seen in those children like Timothy. The same way with negative things, though. If your mother and your mother's mother and your mother's mother's mother, if they were into things that were not godly, more than likely, if you've not changed that from the moment of your child's birth, then your child is going to have tendencies that are not going to be godly as well. And so when people look at them, it might not look like Paul looking at Timothy and saying, I see your mother in you. I see your grandmother in you. They have put this faith in you, and now God is going to be able to use this gift that you have to be able to serve Him. But if that's not been passed down from generation to generation, or at least changed at yours, then you know what they have to do? They have to fight tooth and nail. They have to figure it out for themselves. They've got to go to a place where they start searching, and they're trying to find out what is right and wrong and what is true. And they don't have the support that maybe is needed in their life for it to be easy. We always want to just release our kids, let them go out, and people are saying all the time, just let them find themselves. Well, I don't want my kids just to go find themselves. I want them to know from the very beginning exactly who they are, because we've instilled in them the principles of God. So they don't have to necessarily go look. They don't have to go searching around and trying to find, what they think is right or wrong. They know what is right, and if they choose to do what is wrong, then that's up to them. But they know the standard in which they should live by. Why? Hopefully because they have had generations of people, a line of family members that have served God the best they could. If you look here, it continues to read on, and after it talks about the faith of the mother and the grandmother, it says, "So I ask you to make full use of the gift that God has given you when I place my hands on you. Use it well. God's Spirit doesn't make cowards out of us. God's Spirit does not make cowards out of us. The Spirit gives us power, it gives us love, and it gives us self-control. Because you're a hero this morning, you give those people around you the ability to do things through God that are great. Not to tower down when pressure comes. Not to sink or to quit when things start to cave in on your children. But he's saying here that God has given you a gift, and it's not a spirit of fear, Timothy. It's a spirit of power. And you learned that from an early age, watching strong women in your home do amazing things. And so have you. You've done amazing things. I've watched some of you. As you take moments in your lives and make them teachable moments. As you set your kids down and you explain to them why and why not. When you give them phrases to be able to go back to and to use so that when they get into a spot, they know that this is what they should say and this is how it should be. You've given them the spirit of power and not the spirit to be fearful. It goes back, I think, to the beginning of Adam and Eve. We always blame Eve. We do. She went, she partook of the tree, and she took it off, and she gave it to man, and there was sin. Right or wrong, I mean, obviously wrong, I guess, but at least she had the ability, the power to get up off the couch and go do something. Unlike us guys sometimes, we would have never ever sinned. We would have still been in the garden because we would have been in the recliner while you were doing something proactive, getting something done. You have an ability today that sometimes we don't give you credit for. You have a way of loving that is unmatched. Love is patient, love is kind, love is all of those different things. We could read through that list. And because you're godly mothers, you can see it in your eyes. It's like the video that we watched. You know when to kiss it, and then you know when just to stand them up and to move them on. You just know. You know how to love. And like I said before, this self-control, this ability just to make sure that everything is right. Everything is in check and everything is in balance. That we don't allow our families to move too far one way or another. It's pretty amazing to watch. And we want to say just for family members today, and I'm speaking on behalf of others, that you are somebody's hero today because of the way you act, by the way you talk, by the power that you have, by the love that you show, by the self-control that you have as well. You are somebody's hero today. And because of that, it's the reason that your families are strong.